What up, guys? It's me, Charlie, and I honestly think this OTA sucks. It really blows, right? And I know that usually, I try to take a more positive spin. I try to take a more, understanding spin, but these balance updates really, I don't know what to say, right? It really blows my mind, and I don't understand it at all, right? I don't think it's a standalone opinion. I don't think I'm alone, right? Because even my alliance mates are trying to scratch their head getting all around it. Now let's begin with Fenris Wolf, right? It gets nerfed to a 3. Honestly, I think Fenris Wolf has not been a big problem, right? But I do see some comments later, so let's take a look later with regards to Cannonball. But for now, honestly, I don't see anyone complaining about Fenris Wolf, okay? And in my opinion, Fenris Wolf is part of why Agatha is, you know, doing so well right now. Okay, because there's so many possibilities with Fenris Wolf and in Agatha deck. Alright, you put out a Moon Knight, you could potentially pull back something with Fenris Wolf, or you can do a Negasonic, right? And then you bring back something with Fenris Wolf. Nerfing him to a 3 cost is bad, honestly. I climbed my way all the way to Infinite using Agatha this season, right? And I can tell Fenris Wolf has won me a lot of games. Fenris Wolf has won me a lot of games. Alright, obviously Fenris Wolf is not as important as Red Shift, not as important as Lady Sif, not as important as your even Black Bot, right? Not as important as Ghost Rider, Ebony Blade, but Fenris Wolf does play a crucial role. Alright, and I don't know why. Finally, we have something. We have Agatha looking like a deck that can really be played, and then they decided to do this. Next, Cannonball. Cannonball has a long string of note. Alright, 5'8" to 5'6", frequently but not always paired. Paris Wolf and Cannonball. What? What? This this has nothing to do with Cannonball. It has nothing to do with Cannonball. Look, I do know that there are people playing Fenris Wolf with Naga, but it is just about putting two good combos together. Why is Fenris Wolf getting nerfed for it? Fenris Wolf plus Negasonic combo is fine, right? It is fine because you need to have priority. You need to have priority, alright. And if you play Negasonic too early, people can play some junk card. People can, I don't mean junk as in Akita. I just mean lower power, alright. In fact, they could even play the hood, and you blow up the hood. You can't possibly bring back the hood, right? With your wolf. So this is nonsense. So the problem with Cannonball and Mercury, right, has been telling out it was frustrating, blah blah blah. Yes, we do know. Then do something about Cannonball and Mercury. Why touch Fenris Wolf? I really don't get it. And I think I mentioned this. I'm not sure if I mentioned this casually in one of my previous video before. I'm pretty sure I did. The best way to nerf Cannonball Mercury is to nerf Mercury and not let Mercury move. Because right now it's almost impossible to predict. It's impossible to predict, alright? And it's very crazy. You go into turn 6, your opponent knows which lane they're going to cannonball, but you don't know. You can't even put up a preemptive armor. You can't even put up a Cosmo. So take out the Mercury movement. Look, I know this. I love Cannonball. Alright, I know that this nerf is probably warranted. Some form of nerf is warranted, but for goodness sake, nerf Mercury. Stop Mercury from moving. And that would be a better solution if you really want to, do something about this frustrating combo. Juggernaut goes from a 3-3 to a 4-5. Alright, running are pretty frustrating, sizable, blah blah blah. I don't understand this at all. I honestly don't understand this at all. I have never heard a single person, I have never seen a single person, I've never seen a single post even on Reddit complaining about Juggernaut. In fact, I believe Juggernaut is a pretty fair card. Alright, and Juggernaut is a card that is becoming worse as the days goes by. Right, because right now we see that we have many small cards that are good. Alright, we have many small cards that actually make a huge impact. 2-cost card, Kate Bishop, and Kate Bishop even brings out even more low cost card, 1-cost cards. Merlin, right? All these low cost cards make a huge impact to the game, right? And we are playing a lot of 1-cost, 2-cost, 3-cost. We are playing multiple cards, multiple turns, right? And that sort of fills up the board. That sort of fills up the board, right? And thereby making Juggernaut, weaker, right? Because you can't effectively knock everything away. You can't. Sometimes you play Juggernaut and then you realize, oops, I've knocked 1 card away, but still 1 card remains, and I still lose the lane. So, yeah, I really don't know why they are nerfing Juggernaut. I really don't. To me, Juggernaut has been a fair card, has been a very fair card, and it's getting weaker by the day. It's really getting weaker by the day. Look, let's take a look at things like Mr. Fantastic. Sorry, not Mr. Fantastic. The Thing, Silver Surfer, First Steps. In the past, it would be such a difficult condition to fill the location. But hey, look at the Thing, look at Silver Surfer. They're getting their boost so easily, right? Which means it is not difficult to have multiple cards, more cards in a lane now. So why? So why the nerf to Juggernaut? It seems to tell me that okay, Juggernaut can be taking out the Thing first steps, the thing Silver Surfer first step, so we don't want it anymore, right? In fact, if you would ask me, I thought Juggernaut was a good way to counter the Thing Silver Surfer first steps because it pushes the cards away and thereby stopping them from getting their power, their higher, their better end of turn ability. But I think it's a fair card. It is a fair card. It is a card that is trending downwards in terms of card strength other than specific situations. Really, I don't get this nerf at all. Fantastica 4-7 to a 4-5, blah blah blah. So basically, they admit that EOT decks are EOT deck is crazy good, best deck, hands down, no questions asked. Fantastica is still OP. Alright, I've done a calculation for you guys. It is a 417. Alright, it's a 417 flat. Now it's a 415. Still crazy, it's still crazy. Alright, it's still very crazy. Right, if you ask me, it's still insane. Right, the closest power we get to reach something like a 415 would be Ebony Blade with Agatha, but you have to jump through hoops, you have to pray to get that 414. So Fantastica is still crazy. Mad Thinker goes from a 1-1 to a 1-2. The problem is not with the power. The problem is how you can get your hand full. It is almost impossible to get your hand full in Marble Snap. This is not Yu-Gi-Oh! We do not have cards like Pot of Greed. We do not have cards like Graceful Charity. We don't. So it's really very difficult to, it's like very difficult to get your hand full, and that is the problem. In fact, if you are able to get your hand full once, just once, right? And let's say you get your hand full this turn, you play 1 card. Next turn you draw a card. And that is at the start of the turn. After drawing, your hand is full again. So you'll be able to get +2 2 times, which is a +4, adding to a 1 power base, that is a 1-5. That is good power. That is good power for Mad Thinker. Right. So that will make Mad Thinker playable. Okay. And the reason why nobody is playing Mad Thinker is because nobody is nobody has a nobody is able to make your hand full consistently. So yeah, the problem with Mad Thinker is it's can't you can't get your hand full. It's not with the power. So honestly, you have to find some way to, uh make make an archetype such that, your hands get filled quickly, right? And move along. Otherwise you just leave Mad Thinker as it is, because this is honestly just a waste of time, right? And in future, if you are able to, you know, uh, have an archetype, have some cards that generate cards, then you this 1/2 goes back to 1/1. I can assure you that will happen. Nightmare goes from 3-1 to a 3/1. Yeah, Nightmare isn't good. Nightmare is very very fun, but not good. Fun but not good. Yeah, it's really a deck that you just decide to see what happens. So yeah, this is necessary. Silver Surfer first steps gets a buff. Holy shit. Oh sorry, just now when I was talking about Juggernaut, I think I meant Human Torch, not Silver Surfer. Did I say Silver Surfer? I think I said Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer first steps goes 3/4 to a 3/5. Uh okay, I'm not going to cover Mad Thinker Nightmare. No, I don't think Silver Surfer first steps needs a buff. Honestly, I don't. And this is why I think this is why I think this entire balance update, this entire OTA makes no sense, right? Because Silver Surfer first steps is already crazy, right? Having some is already crazy when she pops, okay, and you're still adding 1 power to her. I don't get it. Yes, her condition is not as straightforward, not as clear cut, not as simple to fulfill, but it's kind of like, your Wong Black Panther Anim Zola combo. Some combos you just have to put in more effort, right? And honestly, I don't think this is needed. So seems to me that they're just looking after those who buy the premium passes. Chavez goes from a 1/2 plus 2 to a 1/2 plus 3. This is going to be nerfed back at some point. Chavez hitting Brute is going to be crazy. Yeah, it's just going to be crazy. Chavez hitting Shaw, maybe, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. It's too much of a buff, right? They mentioned, yeah. It's I don't know. I never felt that Chavez needed a buff. Sure, it's random, but when you run Chavez in a deck that is all about buffing, typically you'll have your Chavez will hit cards that matter. So yeah, I'm going to predict that this is going to be nerfed back. This buff is going to be reverted. This buff is going to be reverted at some point, right? Maybe 6 months time when we see more support for the archetype, right? And the archetype dominates the meta. This is going to be reverted. This is going to be the first thing to be reverted. Ghost Spider goes from a 1/2 to a 1/3. Blah 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 blah. Okay. I'll just say something. This is the only change that I agree with in the entire balance, right? See, I don't agree with Ferris Wolf. I sort of agree with Cannonball, but I feel that we should do something about Mercury first, not Cannonball. This a bit whack. Juggernaut, no. Fantastica, agree with, but it's It's not the main thing, you see. Mad Thinker, no Nightmare, duh. So yeah. So alright, this is probably the only thing that I agree with and feel that they have put in some effort to it. If you have been following my channel, you'll realize that I have actually been playing Move quite extensively of the last 2 seasons. Right, it's an off meta move deck. It features Spider-Man 2099. It's supposed to be fun and all, but I still tried to make it as competitive as possible. And I did not include Ghost Spider. I did not include Ghost Spider. Right. The thing about Ghost Spider is it has a pretty strict restriction. Right, it has a pretty strict condition. Yeah, the word is condition. Right, in the sense that it moves the last card. Right, so it's not as easy to pull off some combo. Right, some combos are very obvious, but compared to things like Helion, compared to Fanfei, compared to Topaz, whereby they don't really they have less the condition to enable the moving is not so harsh. Ghost Spider somewhat pales in comparison, right? Compared to the new move enablers. In the past we didn't have so many, so yeah, Ghost Spider is still good. Now of course I know that Ghost Spider only costs one cost, right? But when we have cards like Helium that allows you to move everything, then yeah, maybe you do not need to be in a position to start moving your cards that early. You don't need to move your cards every turn, right? You can play a Helium, move your cards everywhere, and then you time down, and you get the idea. So I actually think this is a good change, right? I have never really felt Ghost Spider making an impact, even as I experimented with move these 2 seasons. I will even say that even Iron Fist is better, right? So yeah, this is the only change, the only change that I agree with, right? Other than that, I think this entire OTA is whack. This entire OTA is seriously whack, right? I can do a run through again. Wolf, I don't know why they are killing Agatha. Cannonball, yeah, go do something of Mercury moving first. This doesn't really kill the combo. This doesn't really do much. Juggernaut, I don't understand. Fantastica, lazy. This is just a lazy change. Mad Thinker, pointless change. Nightmare, this is kind of a duh change. Everybody already know that Nightmare is a terrible card. This does not need a buff. This does not need a buff. You're just protecting the people the whales. That's all. Chavez, this is going to be reverted. This is going to be reverted. I already covered that. So yeah, only Ghost Spider is a meaningful change in my opinion. So TRDR, this entire balance update, this entire OTA is, I don't know, man. It's one of the laziest and most mind-blowing balance update I have seen in a while. I think I can even say in 6 months. Yeah, these are my thoughts on this on 28 August balance updates. Yeah, so it is what it is. You can have different opinion, but these are my opinions. But most importantly, it's Friday. Have a good weekend.